Welcome to Diplomatic Ties, the program that expunges relations between Nigeria and other nations of the world. Venezuela has deepened relations with Nigeria in the past few years in a more humanistic dimension, propelled by the driving force of the Bolivarian government after continuous fruitful and diplomatic relations since 1965. Her relations with Nigeria is or has manifested in programs like Sponsor a School in Africa, from which more than 5,000 Nigerians children had benefited in the past 2 years. Scholarship to study medicine and agriculture awarded to 30 Nigerian students. Festivals that took place in Venezuela with the participation of cultural troops from Nigeria, among others. In getting maximum value for its huge natural resources, Nigeria is currently collaborating with the Venezuelan government to harness its fiscal regime in the oil and gas sector. I can go on and on. So, our focus today on Diplomatic Ties is Nigeria-Venezuelan relation since 1965 and also 205 years independence anniversary of Venezuela. How far, how well? And my guest on the program today is Miguel de la Vecchia, Venezuelan ambassador to Nigeria. Welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Stay on for more on these and other issues focused on Venezuelan relations with Nigeria since 1965 after this time out. "205 years of independence. You were colonized by the Spanish, right?
Yeah, right.
So how has it been? What would you say? How has the experience been for 205 years now?
Yeah, you know, in 1811, our liberator Simón Bolívar made the freedom from Venezuela to the Spanish colonizers. So that for that moment was very tough moment because Venezuela get the freedom from Spain, and we fight against the post-colonies with the Spanish people. Since now we have our first fathers of the homeland was Simón Bolívar. He was the liberator of Venezuela, not just Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and he made the Gran Colombia in South America. The Gran Colombia was Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela today, and he made the Nueva Granada like the capital of the Gran Colombia. Okay. After that, they divide. Okay. They divide.
Since then and now, have you had any military rule, or it's all been democratic rule?
Venezuela, yes. We have a dictatorial military rule in 1950 until 1961. Then Venezuela have the Republic, was the 1961 until 1999, when President Hugo Chavez arrived to the power. Okay. After 1999, Venezuela arrived to the power, is making the 5th Republic, and is now on with the President Nicolas Maduro.
So it's under a democratic rule now?
Yeah, okay. It's under democratic rule.
Before I go into other issues, before you came to Nigeria on posting on an official mission to Nigeria, what was the impression of an average Venezuelan with Nigeria?
So the impression, you know, when you are in Venezuela and you are posting to any place, you just find in internet what is the country. When you read about Nigeria, the news is very bad news about Nigeria. Actually, a lot of people ask me, but you really want to go to Nigeria? I say, yes, why not? Let's go to, I want to study Nigeria, I want to be in Nigeria, I want to know about Nigeria. But now in Nigeria, I can tell you, this is a wonderful country. It's not true about the media say in internet. It's not, Nigeria is not just Boko Haram. Nigeria have a lot of culture. It's a rich country. It's the people of Nigeria is like Venezuela. And let me in front of you something. Venezuela and Nigeria, we are brothers. Why? We have the same culture. We have the same food. We have the same a lot of things, the same people. We are happy like Nigeria. Nigeria is happy like Venezuela. And actually, on the north of Venezuela, 100% of our people is like your color. Maybe my color is a mistake, because my color is really your color. We are brothers. several years ago, million years ago, Venezuela and Nigeria, they was together. And then with the movement and everything, we separate. For that, I tell you, Venezuela and Nigeria, we are brothers.
Okay. Since 1965, Nigeria, Venezuela established diplomatic relations. Has it been wonderful?
And yeah.
Some who say our relation is win-lose. Some who say it's win-win. So what will you describe Nigeria relations with Venezuela? Is it win-win or win-lose?
No, listen, in
it's
win-win.
Okay.
In 1965, Venezuela made a diplomatic relationship with Nigeria because, of course, the two OPEC petroleum company and Venezuela in 1960 founder the OPEC. In 1965, we opened the relationship because the business of petroleum was very rich at the moment. Since 1965 until 1999, our relationship was based just in petroleum issues. Since 1999, when Hugo Chavez arrived to the power, he opened Africa to Venezuela, and the real important is Africa to Venezuela. Especially when in 1999, we had just 8 embassies in Africa. Right now, we have 18 embassies, 10 more. But what about Nigeria and Venezuela? Since 1999, we opened more relationship. It's not just petroleum. It's agriculture, it's cultural, it's technology, it's a different type of mechanism of consult, political, technical, a lot of things. A lot of agreement was signed between Nigeria and Venezuela since 1999. In the last 3 years, we signed around 11 agreements, educational agreement, technology agreement, science and technology, communicational, a lot of agreement between our country now.
Okay, let me take you on education. There's this program you call Sponsor a School in Africa. Is it part of the education MOU you signed?
Yeah,
So what's the concept behind the Sponsor a School in Africa? That from the records, it's on record that 5,000 Nigerian children benefited from it. What is it all about?
So it's not part of educational. This program is made by the Vice Minister for Africa, Reinaldo Bolivar. He made this program is support one school in Africa. The real is support one school in Africa. And we give 5,000 school kits to the less privileged people, the less privileged children in this case, in a different place of Nigeria. This program is making from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Venezuela through the support by the government of Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and we give the facility to the children with the message to the future is the education, and you need to continue the education.
Okay.
Actually, in the past 3 years, we give to Nigerian children 16,000 school kits. So each year we plan to give 5,000. In my occasion, it's my pleasure to me. In my 3 years here, I give 16,000 of school kids in Nigeria.
Okay, where are some of these schools located that you are collaborating with Nigeria? You don't have an idea? Where are the schools located?
The school was in a different place of Nigeria,
Okay.
with different states. The first one was Osun State.
Okay.
The second one was Ekiti, Ondo, Nasarawa, and Kaduna. But let me tell you something. This support one school in Africa was open more than just give the school kids. We built the school in Nasarawa State. We start in 2014, we finish in 2015, and we have the first Hugo Chavez school in Africa. The first Hugo Chavez school is here in Nigeria. We inaugurated in 2015, 5th of March, the day we celebrate the first anniversary of the death of Hugo Chavez Frias.
Okay, so have you been assessing the school that the pupils are doing well?
Yeah, yeah.
What kind of curriculum are they using? Is it a Nigerian curriculum or
Nigerian
Venezuelan curriculum?
No, Nigerian.
What about the teachers?
The teachers, they are Nigerian.
Is the school fee affordable?
Yeah. Just we give a Spanish class lesson in the school.
Okay.
Just this is Venezuelan.
But you think the school fee is affordable?
Yeah.
Is it in naira or is it in dollars?
Naira,
Okay.
of course.
Okay. There's also the agriculture. You awarded 30 Nigerian students on agricultural programs.
It's
What was
not-
it all about?
It's not just agriculture.
Okay.
We have this another program. We send a student to Venezuela, and in the beginning they study just Spanish to understand our language, and then they spread to the university. A lot of them.
When did you begin this program, this one?
This one began in the 2006.
Okay.
2006. Now, right now we have 30 students in Venezuela, but not just agriculture. We have in sport, the University of Sport, University of Agriculture, University of Arts in Caracas. So we have is a lot of program to the student. We first send the student, they study Spanish, and after that they select which career they want to do it.
Okay, I was happy you said Nigeria and Venezuela, they are brothers.
Yeah.
And I was also amazed for you to say your color is a mistake. You're supposed to have my kind of color.
Yeah.
Fine. Culturally, are we doing anything together with Venezuela? Or are you doing anything with Nigeria in the area of culture?
Yeah, you know, our culture is your culture. Sometimes when I see your dress and I go to Venezuela, in this part of Venezuela, I see the people like this dress. Especially when I see the cultural scenes, it's the same cultural of us, but also the food.
Now which one? If you mentioned the food, which one?
The rice, beans, plantain. This is our favorite food, the plantain, and you have a lot of here. Corn. We have a lot of corn in Venezuela. Like the moi moi you have here, we have in Venezuela.
Oh,
like
really?
this. Yeah, we make like the moi moi we have in Venezuela. Beef, chicken, and everything is the same culture cuisine like Nigeria.
Okay.
This is the legacy of African in Venezuela.
Okay. Now, one other area Venezuela has a lot of relations, similarity with Nigeria is the area of the oil and gas. And what's your assessment, mostly with now that there's some kind of economic downturn in the oil and gas market globally?
Yeah, you know, that is a big problem for the petroleum countries, not just Venezuela, not just Nigeria, also the another country. We have this type of problem because now the offer is too much like the demand of the petroleum. But now Venezuela, Nigeria support the measure. We try to frozen the top of producing of petroleum to get up the oil price production. So that is working now. It's working because we can see before 3 or 4 months ago the petroleum oil price was 20-23. Now it's 40-45. So the measure is getting up. I mean, Venezuela and Nigeria, they need to continue to supporting together to get this to resolve this problem about the petroleum oil price.
Okay.
Venezuela have a problem now like Nigeria. Our budget is not the same of what the petroleum was at 100 and more. It's the same problem as Nigeria have, as Venezuela have. If you have work and your salary is $1,000 and then the next day you don't have more this job, is reducing your budget. It's the same problem, but we have a program and we continue to developing another type of program, agriculture, animals, education. That is where Venezuelans do it, like Nigerians do it.
Okay. The program again is Diplomatic Ties, and we are taking a look, or let's say a scholarly discourse into Venezuelan relations with Nigeria. It was established in 1965, and my guest on the program is Miguel Angel de la Vecchia, the Venezuelan ambassador to Nigeria. After this time out, we'll discuss more. Don't go away. Recently, you were spotted among other diplomats in Nigeria, copiously taking active part in a tennis tournament somewhere in Abuja. Is it true?
Yeah, that's true.
What brought you there?
No, that's was interesting, no, because of course I like the sports, all type of sport, and then I listen about the Abuja Open. I was very interesting because I was a young player tennis, and the president of the tennis federation called me to go to see the match of tennis, and in the last game he gave me the opportunity to give the awards to the winners.
So are you meeting an idea to maybe float such a sponsorship very soon, a tournament very soon?
It's possible. It's possible.
How do you
really.
intend to do it?
maybe we can do it any day. We have an agreement with Venezuela about the sponsorship, and maybe we can work together. Maybe just not tennis. Maybe, for example, we have a interchange between Nigeria and Venezuela in basketball match. Venezuela beat Nigeria 3 times in the last 3 times. Yeah, seriously, in basketball. But Nigeria beat Venezuela in the football in 2011. You beat 3-1 Venezuela in Miami. I remember the match. I saw.
How did you feel about it?
Oh, very bad. Very bad. The Super Eagles against La Vinotinto. La Vinotinto is our team. I remember that match we lose, but after that we have a lot of the interchanging program.
Okay, moving on. That's for sport. How very soon you let us know that Venezuela is going to arrange Nigeria-Venezuelan tournament in tennis, because I have a passion for tennis.
Yes.
Okay. Now, moving on now. Nigeria-Venezuelan relationship since 1965. When do you plan to arrange an investment team, to a trade delegation to Nigeria? Do you have any such plans?
About the sport?
No, trade delegation to Nigeria.
Trade delegation. Well,
I ask you this. Nigerian government is talking about diversifying the economy.
Yeah.
Beyond oil to agriculture to solid minerals to energy and what have you. And you never can tell what your business class will want to benefit in this. So when do you plan to bring a trade delegation to Nigeria?
That is very interesting question, because when I read the economic measure about the President Buhari made to Nigeria, it's like our economic measure in Venezuela. We are called investment in Venezuela. We are calling the people go to invest in Venezuela, especially with the mineral solids, especially in agriculture, in cultural. We are calling the people to invest in Venezuela to spread, not just petroleum. I mean, Venezuela and Nigeria, we have a lot of similarity things to do it. We are calling now is just by a political issue. Venezuela support Nigeria. For example, now in the OPEC summit, Venezuela support the candidate of Nigeria
okay,
to be elected OPEC secretary, and he won. And Nigeria support Venezuela in UN when we made the no permanent post in the consul security. Venezuela won by the support of Nigeria and all Africa. The 54 countries on Africa support Venezuela in the UN, like Venezuela support Nigeria. So now we are calling the people to invest to Venezuela, and not just Venezuela to Nigeria, Nigeria to Venezuela also. I mean, we can make a lot of things together. If we make together, just the suit can save the suit.
Okay, thank you. On the economic landscape, do you think the federal government is doing well with regards to trying to reshape the economy despite the economic downturn?
Yes, of course. You need to do something different. You do it. So you need to make something different. It's Nigeria and Venezuela. We try to getting up the economic, and this measure now is working in Venezuela and also in Nigeria. Maybe not at the same velocity, but it's working very well. So I mean, this is a big challenge to the both country. It's the first time the petroleum oil price is very, very down. In 1999 was at 60. Now in the beginning of this year was 23. So you need to make something different to get up your economy. That's Venezuela and Nigeria. They are going very well in this moment.
You told me you have spent 3 years as an ambassador to Nigeria for Venezuela, and you were there on May 2015 when President Muhammadu Buhari was inaugurated.
Yeah.
You remember his speech where he said, "I belong to no one, I belong to everybody."
Yeah, I remember, especially.
So 1 year after, do you think that statement stands by it?
It's a big challenge for President Buhari. He want to make a new measure. For that the Nigerian people elect President Buhari for something new one. Something new political, something new economical, something new about all of this type. It's a big challenge to him. He come and made the anti-corruption commission, and he's working in that. But then start to this budget reduce because the petroleum oil price is coming down. So it's a really big challenge to President Buhari to make now to Nigeria very well. But I think Buhari is going in a good way. I wish in the future, I hope so, Nigeria is getting well like Venezuela in the last 3 or 4 years ago, when Venezuela and Nigeria, they are one of the rich countries around the world. Actually, Nigeria is the first economy in Africa, was development in the 2013, and still now Nigeria is one of the first economy in Africa.
Okay. 3 years as an ambassador, how many states in Nigeria have you visited?
I visited already 9 states in Nigeria.
Do you have plans to visit more?
Yes, of course, we are planning.
Which ones?
I don't know which one, but we are not planning yet. But of course, we are planning to visit more states. My goals is to visit the 36 states in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay. Definitely, at the end of 3 years, maybe your mission will be extended, or you may be reposted out of Nigeria. You may be. I'm not saying. What legacy do you want to leave back in Nigeria as an ambassador who served in Nigeria?
Yeah, my legacy here, it's, for example, the people can remember me when I give this type of donation, when I went to the last time we went to Kishongoro IDP, and we give the donation to the IDP people, and you can listen, you can see the reality of the IDP, and then they can remember you. This John ambassador, one time he came and told us in the education we have the future and we need to continue the education. This is part of the legacy that want to remain here in Nigeria, especially for my people in the embassy. They see what I am doing, the donation, they go and meet with everybody, the less privileged, especially with the less privileged people. I want to go and spread my legacy from Hugo Chavez, because my father, my brother, and my teacher is Hugo Chavez. He is all for me, and that is I want to transmit to the people in Nigeria. And for me, that is very important. The legacy I want to make here is the legacy of Hugo Chavez.
Okay, let's go to anti-corruption. What's your assessment of the anti-corruption onslaught in Nigeria?
So the anti-corruption is a big measure. It's a big challenge to Buhari. Really, he needs to run very well in this part of anti-corruption measure. It's not easy. It's not easy because we know in Nigeria the corruption is too much, but he is fighting, and I wish in the end he can finish the legacy he wanna do it.
And my last question to you. In every government or in any democracy, you cannot rule without opposition. Some will like what you're doing, some will not like what you're doing. So what's your advice to Nigeria with regards to opposition of the present government?
So, in each country we have opposition. Like in Venezuela, we have now our opposition, and the government need to recognize the opposition. Of course, in Venezuela, we have a very bad opposition. They are making economic war against Venezuela. I mean, in Nigeria, the President Buhari, he knows he has a good position in Nigeria, but he's fighting and he's making a very good country. And they need to understand this is a big challenge to him, like it's a big challenge from Venezuela right now. Sometimes the opposition don't understand in Venezuela what is the mission of the government of Venezuela, and they fight against us. So, but we continue to the legacy.
Venezuelan ambassador to Nigeria, it was good having you on Diplomatic Ties, and we hope and believe that we'll call you again and again. Once again, thanks for being my guest.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's about that on the program, and my guest has been Miguel Ángel de la Vicia, Venezuelan ambassador to Nigeria. If you're all to the program, you heard what he said. Diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Venezuela was established in 1965. And Venezuela is 205 years old as an independent nation after gaining independence from Spain. That has been the program, and I believe you learned a lot. But his message has been perseverance, patience, and understanding with the present dispensation in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Be our guest. Let's do it same time next time on the program, Diplomatic Ties. On behalf of all of us here, bye-bye.